Amazon KU's book recommendations are fine, but they're kind of the same 5 ones on repeat. At least that's the case for me. So today I'm bringing you 30 better ones, perfect for the fall season. Hi, I'm Brit, and this is Brit's Wickedry, where I read a lot and talk even more. So here's the thing. I have been reading digitally for over a decade, and Amazon's Kindle Unlimited has been a lifeline for me. It's affordable, it's accessible, and honestly, as someone who's worked in the indie publishing industry, I love how huge it is for indie authors. You can find everything from cozy romance to extreme horror under the umbrella of Amazon's Kindle Unlimited subscription. But if you've ever actually tried to browse the KU interface, yikes. I don't know if you have the same experience as me, but I find that Amazon's recommendations seem to be super repetitive and usually not even what I'm looking for. So if you've ever had the thought, like, I know there's got to be some good books here that are perfect for this, or that, this video is going to be for you, because we are going to dive into my best recommendations for books that are on Kindle Unlimited, perfect for the fall season. Basically, I've gone through every KU book that I have read over the past 10 years, also dug through Amazon's book recommendations under all the different categories, and handpicked 30 of the best Kindle books that you can dive into this fall season on Kindle Unlimited. And since I know that fall reading is a spectrum depending on what your preferences are, this list is going to have everything from cozy fall romances all the way to extremely spooky, atmospheric Halloween horror. As I go through each book, you'll see the spookometer down in the bottom corner there that will show you on the scale of cozy to horror where it falls. Now, because I've got so many books I'm going to be diving into today, I'm going to be rapid fire going through these, telling you the title of the book, the author of the book, and just a quick general summary here to give you the vibes so you know whether or not it's something you'd like to dive into. All right, we're getting started here with Pumpkin Spice Café by Lori Gilmore. This is the first book in the viral Dream Harbor series, where it's basically autumn in a mug. You've got small town romance, you've got grumpy sunshine, and yes, you have pumpkin spice lattes. Think Hallmark movie with extra spice. So if you are looking for the ultimate fall comfort read with low stakes, this is about as feel good as it gets. Next, we have Fall I Want by Lyra Parrish, which is a small town romantic comedy with a billionaire who falls first. If Pumpkin Spice Cafe was Hallmark with lattes, then this one is more like a Pinterest board autumn with fake dating vibes. We've got billionaire romance, cozy fall festivals, ex drama, and a little bit of spice. Next, if you want your fall reads to feel extra wholesome, we have The House Witch, which is a cozy fantasy. It's got a royal cook with domestic magic, a kitten familiar named Kraken, some political hijinks, and just enough romance to keep it interesting. Next up, we've got The Witching Flower, which is basically the Great British Bake Off. Evie's whole dream is to win the annual fall cook-off, but when she discovers that she's a witch and her town is actually under a dark curse, the pies end up not being the only thing on the line. It's got that small town charm, some dream-walking warlocks, and a fun mix of cozy romance with a little bit of darkness underneath. Switching gears a little bit, we have The Antique Hunter's Guide to Murder by C.L. Miller. This one is following Freya Lockwood and her eccentric aunt who get pulled into investigating this suspicious death at an English manor. This one definitely leans more towards the cozy mystery side of mysteries as a whole. It's got themes of antiques and secrets, but then it also has some murder, so it does get just a little bit dark. I read this one when I wanted something that was low stakes but also atmospheric, and enough action and intrigue to keep my interest, and it definitely hit the spot. Next up, we have Weyward by Amelia Hart, which is a multi-generational witchy read spanning 5 centuries. It follows 3 women who are tied together through a legacy of resilience and also magic. We have one who is involved in the witch trials of 1600s, another one living during the time of World War II, and a more contemporary contemporary present day heroine who is escaping an abusive relationship and begins to discover some family secrets. Even though this is a witchy read, it definitely feels more lyrical and empowering when it comes to the underlying themes of like women and feminism versus something more scary. Ultimately, this one is about women finding their strength through generations of oppression. It's a really good read. Sliding into a little bit more darker territory, we have Salem's Fall by Rectock Ross. This one follows a young female attorney who is assigned a case to defend a dangerous billionaire who is accused of murdering somebody in this New England town that has a dark history. We've got black cats, a secret society, some ritualistic murders going on, and just enough gothic romance to make you wonder whether she's defending a monster or falling in love with one. This one reads kind of like if The Silence of the Lambs got smushed together with a gothic romance, which makes it perfect for like that Halloween thriller pick. This one is part of a series, but all of the books within the series are standalone. Next, we have A Study in Drowning by Ava Reed, which is her YA fantasy debut. Effie is a girl haunted by visions of the Fairy King, and when she gets the opportunity to redesign the estate of her favorite author, she finds herself unraveling both a mystery and a dangerous legacy. This one has haunted manners, dark academia vibes, rivals to lovers tension, and that dreamlike lyrical atmosphere that is common in like gothic books. Up next, we have An Exorcism of Faeries by J.L. Vampa. Now, this one is a dark academia with like a folklore twist. In this one, our heroine is a mortician's daughter who is studying at Trinity College, and she teams up with her morbid anatomy professor to exorcise some fae possessions that are spreading like throughout Dublin. It's got that student professor like forbidden romance, it's got creepy fae lore, all on top of that moody academic setting, so it's very Ninth House kind of meets If We Were Villains, but with fae possessions. Next we have another by J.L. Vampa, Autumn of the Grimoire. This one is a lush gothic romantasy about Sister Autumn, who is a witch who has been bound to a cursed grimoire that has made her do some terrible things, like burn villages, kill kings, and spread plagues for centuries. And when Agatha is ordered to marry into a corrupt court, she finds herself torn between obeying the goddess and kind of defying her fate. Next, we've got Gothikana by RECS, which is another dark academia with gothic romance. This one follows Corvina, who is kind of like an outcast, and she receives this invitation to this mysterious university that is hosted inside of like an old castle, which of course is filled with secrets and death, and also a professor that she absolutely should not be falling for, but does. Now let's talk about The Coven by Harper L. Woods, which is where magic, revenge, and forbidden romance kind of collide together under a blood-soaked university setting. This one is following our heroine as she is sent to Hallows Grove, which is a secret school that is reopening for the first time since a massacre occurred there. And the only thing more dangerous than the ghosts of the past here might be the infuriatingly hot headmaster who also hates her. It's moody, it's gothic, and it's very much on the darker end of the spectrum when it comes to dark academia. Next up is One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig, which is basically gothic romantasy at its finest. Elspeth lives in a mist-locked kingdom and carries a monster inside of her head, the Nightmare, which is a spirit who protects her but is also slowly taking over. It's moody, it's eerie, it's lushly written, and it's got a slow burn romance and magical quest that both feel like fairy tale but also sinister at the same time. Hollow Heathens by Nicole Fiorina is a gothic romance all about secrets, curses, and forbidden love. Our character Fallon returns to her hometown of Weeping Hollow, where superstition runs really deep and a family curse ties her to this guy guy named Julian Blackwell, which is one of the feared hollow heathens. This one is a blend of that haunted small town lore, cursed romance, and that we were always fated to find each other type. Now we've got Graveyard Shift by M.L. Rio, which is a short gothic mystery. This one follows a group of night workers whose paths keep crossing, and one night in their meetup spot, they uncover a recently dug up grave, and that basically pushes them into trying to figure out what is going on, who dug this grave up, what was inside this grave, and like why it's there. This one is a very quick read. It's very heavy on like character development, character entanglement, and it's very eerie and moody without being full-on horror. Next up is Grave Matter by Karina Halley, which mixes dark academia with gothic horror and a little bit of romance. In this one, a grad student joins a research lodge on a foggy Vancouver island, but instead of academic breakthroughs, she instead finds ghosts in the walls, missing students, and a psychologist she probably should not be falling for. This one does lean into feelings of paranoia. It's got some body horror going on, some weird happenings like snow in the summer. It's kind of got that feeling of like, am I losing it, or is this place like really cursed? Next, we have The Fabric of Our Souls by K.M. Moranova. This one is a dark, emotional romance, which is following two people on opposite sides of life and death. Basically, she just survived a suicide attempt, and he is a nurse that is clinging hard to life. And when they're kind of forced together under this rehab setting, what starts as like sharp banter between the two slowly turns into something that becomes more healing for them and something more profound. I won't lie, this is a heavy read. It's raw, it's emotional, it's dark, and it's less gothic horror like some of the other ones we've talked about, and more like dark romance with morbid edges. Definitely one to pick up if you're looking for something more angsty and cathartic. Lovely Bad Things by Trisha Wolfe is an enemies to lovers dark academia turned up to like 11. Helen is investigating a gruesome crime scene when she has to actually pair up with this man Callum, who she's previously locked away into an asylum for the criminally insane. This one is violent, bloody, unsettling, and definitely not for the faint of heart. So if you like your dark academia spiked with serial killers and sharp object play, then this one might be the one for you. Next, we have Anathema by Carrie Lake, which is a gothic dark fantasy that drops us right into a haunted forest known as the Eating Woods. This is a place where banished souls go to die and gruesome creatures roam about. When our heroine is forced beyond the borders of this forest, she finds herself entangled with this cursed assassin lord who was sent to kill her, but instead becomes totally obsessed. This one is heavy on atmosphere while also having those grotesque like horror like elements. It's also got a unique magic system and a slow burn gothic romance running throughout it. Definitely more horror fantasy than cozy. Next, we have another book by Ava Reed called Juniper and Thorns. So this one is a gruesome gothic retelling of the juniper tree. This one follows our main character, who is a young woman living under the control of her abusive wizard father, inside of a city who is kind of making that transition from magic to industry, and she is finding herself sneaking out in order to experience freedom and forbidden love. This is another one that is dark and disturbing and full of body horror. We've got curses, we've got violence, and we've got some grotesque appetites. If you like your fairy tale retellings beautiful but brutal, then this is that one. Next up, we have Grimstone, which is a gothic beach town romance that blends like haunted house chills with seriously dark spice. Our main character here inherits a crumbling mansion that she's trying to flip, only to get tangled up with the hot doctor who lives next door, who might have actually killed his wife. Next up is The Thicket by Noelle West Ely. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. But this one is a slasher style thriller that is set around a Halloween carnival. Nora's brother was murdered in the woods, and when the carnival reopens just weeks later, she goes to retrace his steps only to find out that the killer's hunting ground was no coincidence. This one is fast-paced, tense and perfect for spooky season. Next, we have episode 13, which is basically found footage horror, but in book form. This one follows a ghost hunting reality TV crew who is investigating like the holy grail of haunted locations. But instead of proof of the afterlife, they end up uncovering something much worse. This one is told through like tapes, journals, and also like fragmented documents. So you get that creepy, claustrophobic, and like looking over somebody's shoulder type feeling. The Creeper by A.M. Shine is a chilling folkloric horror that is set in like a remote Irish village. Two researchers arrive to study this town's history only to discover that the locals are hiding a terrible secret. A figure known as the Creeper who appears 3 times each night drawing closer. If you love that classic isolated village with a dark legend, dark secret type setup, then you're going to love this one. Slewfoot by Brom is another folkloric witch horror that is set in colonial New England. When a widowed outcast crosses path with a spirit that the settlers call a demon, it kind of triggers this like all out clash between the Puritans and paganism. This one is violent and bloody and haunting, done in Brom's signature style. If you've ever read anything that he's done and enjoyed it, then you're definitely going to like this one. Black Friday by James Cain is basically Squid Games, but at a shopping mall. This one follows a cast of characters who have been invited to this contest that really turns out to be like a kill or be killed bloodbath. This one is a quick read. It's a very gory read. I call this kind of like a snack or popcorn read where it doesn't have anything super deep into it, and it's all about the gore, it's all about the shock factor, and it's all about the kills. I recommend reading this one the Friday before Thanksgiving for maximum irony. Next, we have Dark Harvest, which is a Bram Stoker's award-winning horror novel that kind of feels like pure Halloween distilled into one book. Every October, the October Boy rises from the cornfields with a butcher knife in hand, and gangs of teenage boys basically hunt him down in a deadly ritual. It's violent and eerie and drenched in like small town dread. A perfect pick if you want something that really feels like spooky Halloween. Hex by Thomas Old Huvelt is another witch horror on this list, and it's definitely one of the darker ones. This one follows a small rural town that has been cursed by like a 16th century witch whose mouth and eyes have been sewn shut. And when some local teams get up to some mischief having to do with this witch, basically everything just starts to spiral into chaos, and it kind of just drags this town back into like some brutal medieval horrors. Claustrophobic, terrifying, and unforgettable. And finally, we have You Invited It In by Sarah Jules, which is a supernatural horror, which follows a person named Felix who can see the dead. And when he hires a fake psychic with like the goal to expose her, he accidentally unleashes something that claims to be his dead wife, but it's out for blood. This is one of those to read if you're brave enough at night as like the perfect way to end a fall horror reading binge. Because once this entity is in, it doesn't leave. And that is my full list of 30 Kindle Unlimited picks perfect for the fall season from coziest to creepiest. Let me know which one you're most excited to read this fall season, and if you have nothing else to say, please drop a fall leaf emoji down in the comments. I hope you found something to take away from this, whether you were looking for something super cozy, super atmospheric, or super terrifying. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more content just like this. Thanks so much for watching, and happy fall reading. Bye!